Okay, now we're going to look at the Lesson 8 problem set solutions. We're going to write and solve an equation for each problem. The perimeter of a rectangle is 30 inches. Its length is 3 times its width. Find the dimensions. Again, the dimensions that we would need a width and a length when we're finished. So since we're doing the perimeter, we'll have to find the entire distance around. W plus 3W plus W plus 3W equals 30. This is our equation. Combine our like terms, 6, 7, 8 W's equals 30. Divide each side by 8. W equals 3. 3 times 8 is 24, so that leaves 6 and out of 8. And 6 eighths can simplify into, divide each number by 2, 3/4. So the width is 3 3/4. 3 times that, I can either multiply by 3 or I can add it to itself 3 times, which I believe I prefer for this situation. 369, 369 fourths. Now 9/4 is actually 2 1/4. So I'm going to take 8 of these fourths and add them here, which will make that 11 with 1 out of 4 left over. And this is all in inches. Final answer. Here are my dimensions. 3 3/4 by 11 1/4. Moving on to number 2. Cell phone company has a basic monthly plan of $40 plus 45 cents per minute for any minutes used over 700. Before receiving his statement, John saw he was charged a total of $48.10. Write and solve an equation to determine how many minutes he must have used during the month. Write an equation without decimals. So this is the equation they gave me. In order to write this without decimals, I've got 2 decimal places here and 2 decimal places here. So I'm going into the hundredths on each side. So what I could do is just multiply this whole thing by 100. And I would get 4,000 plus 45 minutes, 45 cents per minute is 4,810 cents. So I just have to be able to interpret what I'm doing here. Alright, so then I would subtract the 4,000 cents, which is $40, and do that to each side to keep my equation balanced. That gives me 810. Then I would divide the 810 cents by the 45 cents. Okay. Pause for a second. Did a little math here to the side to figure out that was going to be 18. So, thinking back to the terms of the situation, the minutes would be 18. Alright, but that was just the additional charge for minutes over 700. 700 minutes were included with the $40. So final answer, 700 minutes that were included with the $40 plus the 18 minutes I went over. 718 minutes was the total used during the month. This is how cell phone plans used to work. Not so much anymore, but this problem made it through. Volleyball coach plans the practice is to include 10 minutes of stretching and 2/3 of the practice scrimmaging. The remaining time is working on drills of specific skills. On Wednesday, the coach planned 100 minutes of stretching and scrimmaging. How long in hours is the entire practice? So I believe I'm going to start by making a diagram like we did earlier with some of the problems. Okay, 1/3, no, 2/3. 2/3 of the practice is spent scrimmaging, and 10 minutes of this is stretching. Okay, 100 minutes for stretching and scrimmaging. So 2/3 of the time and 10 minutes is 100 minutes. Alright, subtract 10 minutes. 2/3 of the entire time is 90 minutes. Divide each side by 2/3, which is actually multiplying by the reciprocal 3/2. So 270 divided by 2. 1. 3 times 6. 135 minutes. The time is 135 minutes. That's the entire practice. It's 135 minutes. But the question asks for it in hours. So to convert minutes to hours, I divide by 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. That gives me 2 with 15 minutes left over out of 60, or 2 hours and 15 minutes. Even though this could be simplified, I didn't want to simplify because my denominator was 60, and when I was converting from minutes into hours, I wanted to leave that as 60. That way I would know how many minutes I was talking about. For this question, I have to know some vocabulary words. Consecutive means in a row. So consecutive even numbers would be like 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, they're in a row. So the sum, which means add, of two consecutive even numbers. So I've got a number plus the next even number. To get from one even number to the next, looks like I'm adding 2 consistently. So here's a number, and here's the next even number, and their sum is 54. And I'm tasked with finding the numbers. So that would be 2n plus 2 is 54. Subtract 2 from each side. 2n equals 52. I'm just going to move this over here. I seem to always run out of room. Divide by 2. N is 26. So let's see if that would work. That would mean this number is 26, and n plus 2 would be 28. So 26 plus 28, 14, carry the 1, 54, and it worked. So, a little thinking here on the front end to help me figure out what to do. Alright. Justin has $7.50 more than Eva, and Emma has $12 less than Justin. Together they have a total of $63. How much money does each person have? So this is similar to the very first question in this lesson. And we'll just approach it kind of like we did that other one. So we are talking about Justin, Eva, and Emma. Okay, Justin has $7.50 more than Eva. So let's call what Eva has X. Justin would have X. It's Eva's plus $7.50. Emma has 12 less than Justin. So Justin minus 12. And all together they have $63. So let's write an equation that kind of matches our diagram. Justin plus Eva plus Emma equals 63. We'll combine our like terms. 1, 2, 3 x's. 15 minus 12 is positive 3. Let's subtract 3 from each side. Oops. Three x equals 60. Divide each side by 3. X is 20, which means Eva had $20. So Jake had $27.50. 20 plus 750 is $27.50, which means Emma had $27.50 minus 12, which is $15.50. Barry's mountain bike weighs 6 more than Andy's. So Andy's, we'll call it X. Barry's would be 6 more than that. Their bikes weigh 42 pounds together. So X plus 6 is 42. Combine like terms. Solve the equation. Move over here, run out of room again. So if Andy's is 18, Barry's 18 plus 6 is 24. And if I add those together, just to double check, 42, which is what it was. So these are the correct answers, and LB is the abbreviation for pound. Moving on, Trevor and Melissa together have 26 t-shirts. Marissa has 6 fewer than Trevor, so Trevor has X, and Marissa has 6 fewer than he does. How many t-shirts does Trevor have? So, X, this is Trevor, X minus 6 is Marissa, so together they have 26. 2x minus 6 is 26. And I would add 6 to each side. 2x is 32. Divide each side by 2. X is, 32 divided by 2. 1 minus 2. 12, 16. So if Trevor had 16 t-shirts, just to double check, that would mean Marissa would have 10, and together they would have 26, which is what I needed, so that worked out. And that was your answer. Trevor had 16 t-shirts. A number is 1/7 of another number. The difference of the numbers is 18. Assume that you are subtracting the smaller number from the larger number. So I have a number, and 1/7 of the number would be smaller than the number. The difference is 18. So let's call this 7/7, which is another way to write 1, because n is 1n, and I could write that as 7/7n. So 7/7 minus 1/7 is 6/7n equals 18. I would need to divide each side by 6/7. And I know that to divide fractions, I actually multiply by the inverse. So, 18 times 7, 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. So I get 126 over 6. So I need to divide. It's going to be 2, 1, 21. Okay. So if the number is, I'm going to plug it back in to double check myself. 1n minus 1/7 n is this supposed to equal 18. So 1 times 21 minus 1/7 times 21. So 21 minus 3 is 18, which is what it was supposed to be. So that did check. Uh-oh, sorry about that. Okay, we're right at the 15-minute mark, so I'm going to, well, I'm just going to keep. I'm going to stop this video, and then I'll make another one with the rest of this problem set solution.